Did Victoria make the right call? Absolutely. 100%. I thought her best play was getting me out of the game, which is why I wanted her out of the game.
Breathe.
I would love to become the Anonymous.
The Anonymous. The game begins August 19th on USA.
What's up, Jack? Nigel Chambers here from Big O Belt Media. Man. Sir Jack. How you doing today, my guy?
I'm doing all right. I'm out of the game, but we got to play. We really
Yeah.
got to play. We showed up. We flexed on them for a minute. So I can't be disappointed about that. I had a great time.
You did your damn thing. I just want to say that. You absolutely did your damn thing. But the one thing I don't think maybe you did calculate was that you was going to win folks' heart over. I think this relationship with you and Andy is something that is probably going to be talked about towards the end of the conclusion of the end of this season is because um we just really see just how close that bond was, but ultimately the game you played and how the cause and effect of how it sort of played out here. So I want to definitely start off by just asking, what is the current status of you and Andy? How is it? Are we good?
Andy and I are incredible. Andy's the best guy. Andy, I mean, as you can see, he finds out I'm football, and immediately he's like, it just makes me respect his game.
Yeah.
And that's, you don't necessarily get that with everybody, but that's Andy. And that's why I was so drawn to him is he's so funny. He's an unbelievable guy. And yeah, post show has been no different.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah, because we'll obviously talk about your elimination, but during the eliminations, typically whenever somebody reveals their handles, there's always this big reaction of like, "Oh, I knew it!" Da 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 da. And Andy was just kind of this there in silence. You felt the hurt, you felt the pain. I won't go as far as saying betrayal, but somewhere down that path, you see him starting to calculate everything. But he quickly did in the interview acknowledge that he had respect for how he played the game. So I want to know you as the fan, the viewer, when you watched it back, what was sort of kind of going through your head?
Yeah, it's so interesting because they really, in the edit, they have to chop down a lot. I would say almost like 95% or more doesn't make it to the
Yeah,
edit. And so Andy and I are hanging out all the time. He was my guy. And I think that doesn't 100% come across, or like you can't possibly feel that with how much time that they have on the show.
yeah,
Even if the whole hour had been me and Andy, it wouldn't do it justice.
yeah,
So, I to me that can't possibly come across. Um, but that's the game. The game
yeah,
kind of demands it, at least if you're trying to play a game where you're in control.
yeah.
I think it demands it. Uh, we saw Victoria doing the same with Christopher. And
I was just about to say.
the interesting thing is, I know her opinion is I'm looking out for Christopher. I'm putting him up because I'm helping him. I'm running the game and keeping him in the game. And I totally get that from her 100%.
Yeah,
Other people are not going to necessarily see that,
yeah,
but I do.
yeah.
I also sort of think at the point where I put Andy at risk, I don't think someone was going to eliminate him.
Honestly, it was way more calculated than the Victoria and Chris thing
Yeah,
because
because Christopher is absolutely at risk if certain people get the anonymous, so that's
yep,
way riskier.
yep.
I don't think anyone was going to eliminate Andy,
No,
so I felt pretty like it was a very calculated risk on my part.
agreed.
But I do understand her viewpoint, and it's working out for her, and they're both in the game, so
Yeah.
kudos to her, and I totally get it. I respect it.
Yeah, yeah. I will also say too, of all of the eliminations, you seem to be the only person to really let off some real emotions. Like everybody else was kind of like, ah, you got me, but you were just straight frustrated. And I felt that because I honestly think between you and Xavier, the best two games played. I thought Robbie's game was pretty good too, but Robbie was targeted so early. But like when it came down to like the folks, I'm like, I think these are truly the ones who's going to take it. Xavier, when he went out, he was kind of like, yeah, y'all good, y'all got me now. Because if y'all didn't, it was over. And for you, you just let it out. What was that measure of frustration for you? What was kind of going through your head at that point?
I think when you start the game, it's not even real yet. And then I had so much success in the game that winning the game became such a reality that you could like taste it.
Yeah.
And I think I maybe built it up in my own head. Well, I mean, I definitely did. But I really felt like getting to be in this game was such an opportunity for me. And I came on to be like the gamer. I'm the board, they put under my name, National Board Game Champion. And so I wanted to come in and play. And I felt like it was such a chance for me to essentially like realize my identity in a major way. Like this
Yeah.
is, to me, this is me. Like everybody's playing a different game, but they're not necessarily gamers.
Yeah.
This is my thing.
Let
And
me ask you something real quick because pretty early in the season, as somebody who's a gamer and done some card gaming in the past and board gaming as well, just straight up gamer. Marcel was targeted pretty early for being a gamer. What was your thoughts about that?
I thought it totally made sense. Like if you're coming in, I thought it was a big risk of him. He could have gotten away with it too, lying.
True.
Xavier could not have.
No.
Um, Marcel could have gotten away with it. So coming in and saying your job is gaming is a huge risk. And, you know, people are going to look for any reason to say that so-and-so is a threat. And he teed him up. He's still in the game, by the way, partially because I was never going to put him out of the game. And it was my choice 3 times.
Yeah, that's a fact. You were killing it with the anonymous earlier in this. I was like, man, you might hold the record for right now as it stands. Three-time anonymous. Yeah, so we'll see how it plays out.
And I mean, I played a game that I think everyone's gonna have a different agenda when they play. But my version of the game was I want to keep other big threats in because I don't want to get got when it's not me, and it's gonna not be me at some point.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm never getting Xavier out of the game. I'm never getting Marcel out of the game. I'm never getting Robbie out of the game. And so that's how I played. And I know that there's probably some like, why the hell didn't he get Xavier out when he could? Because that's not my game. That's not my move.
These are the people that win the money too, which is probably would have been my strategy here. So that's interesting because I was definitely very curious about when y'all played the challenge, the sum it up game with the towers, and Xavier was absolutely suspicious about what you were up to with this. So to set the record straight, was this ever an attempt to get Xavier eliminated, or you just felt like you all had the team that was going to be able to bring in the most money?
I did not want to get Xavier eliminated, but I had just come off a challenge where Bisma gave me safety. True. That I was afraid of playing for safety again, because in my mind, if you go for $50, which is what, like 2 Chipotle burritos, we're playing for 100K, by the way.
One if you're ordering on DoorDash, but I feel you.
Right. What does that say about the game that you're playing? And there's still a good amount of rope left in the game. We're not there. Maybe if a couple days later, that's the move. But at that stage, I was just really concerned about how that looks to players, especially when you got, you know, Christopher who I kind of need to keep good with me, who, because theoretically maybe that gets Victoria good with me, but I'm not sure.
Ooh,
And he's a big,
that's the topic coming
oh,
up.
right. And his whole thing is we got to get that money.
Yeah.
And so I partially didn't want to get safety unless we got the money as well.
Yeah.
Um, and I also genuinely thought we could do it. No, we
Yeah.
came up with an equation, by the way. We got it. And we had to switch the equation 2 times because we were missing like an extra minus sign. It was so hard. But the wind was going
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah.
So, I really think my big mistake was partnering with Xavier there. I think I should just not do that.
Yeah.
But it's hard to make that call in the moment when Danny's like, pick a partner, and we're sitting right there, and it's like, okay, sure,
Yeah.
sounds great.
Yeah. I love how you said I'm a math tutor and he's tall.
I'm a math tutor, and he's tall. What a team.
So listen, let's wrap on this because obviously the Victoria thing is why we're here. Besides the whole Dylan being the one to ultimately throw you up, to nominate you for elimination, but
hey, Nina played a part too. That's the game.
Did she? She's the one to watch right now, if you ask me.
100%.
You had said if I don't get Victoria, essentially she was going to get you, and she just happened to get you first here, and she had an opportunity to pick Bisma, who she seemed to be full steam ahead with, and she came back and stuck with her guns and eliminated you. So I'm just curious for you as the player and yes, as the fan, do you think that she made the right decision by going you over Bisma? And then ultimately, if she had to pick Bisma, were you still going to be super focused on her going forward because she didn't take her chance to get you here?
Well, so there's a couple issues. One is if she takes Bisma out, I have no way of knowing that she did that. So you never totally know where people's allegiances lie, really.
But you've been suspicious of her, though.
For example, I could have gotten Nina out of the game when I was the anonymous the third time. She was at risk.
True, that's true.
But I really wanted to work with her because I thought there's nothing cooler than going to the end with Sandra's daughter and then winning. But then you can't go to Nina and say, hey, I did that. I kept you in the game. And so she's got this dose of skepticism, which is totally fair. So did Victoria make the right call? Absolutely. 100%. I thought her best play was getting me out of the game, which is why I wanted her out of the game.
Yep. Okay.
So she absolutely made the right call.
Listen, you're a master gamer, master strategist here. And although this tenure on the anonymous is an end, and I've been very vocal about wanting the season 2, and you know how the game show works, you typically gonna get that announcement until after it's finished, and they probably look at the ratings, which is done fantastic. I mean, everybody's talking about it. But I know that doesn't stop you. Where are you ultimately seeing yourself after this now? Because I know now that you got your feet wet and the adrenaline running, I'm sure that the gears are turning in terms of what you want to do next. So what's it going to be, Jack?
Well, hey, look, I make gaming sketches and content on the internet. I'm currently working on a documentary about the Settlers of Catan journey that my friends and I did. I'm cooking. I got some stuff. If they want me to go on another game, you better believe I'll play. I love the games. So, my DMs are open.
Any particular game has caught your eye?
Sheesh. I mean, people say I'd be really good at Big Brother, but that show is long. That is a long show. I think I would really thrive on The Circle or Traders. I would love to play Survivor. I'm a diehard Survivor fan, although I think I'd be abysmal at surviving. So maybe that would be I don't know that I'd thrive. But yeah, I would do it.
There it is. Well, I look forward to everything you got coming up. So I'm definitely going to keep my eyes glued on these upcoming projects. But Jack, I definitely want to say I definitely enjoyed your time on the show.
Thank you, man.
And the game you played, like I said, phenomenal. And I see why the frustration was let out because I pretty much did not think you were going there. But here we are.
we are.
But I do want to let folks know the Anonymous, a quick update that Anonymous now premieres on Monday night, still on the USA Network, but now at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Pacific Time. Jack, I look forward to talking to you again very soon, buddy.
Thanks, man. Have a great day.
Absolutely.
Ridiculous.